What up? What up? Fantasy news today. We are here for the Friday edition of the show. Hope everybody had a good Thursday night football. We already know CMC managers are not too happy right as of now. It's going to be the first topic we talk about. Let's just go ahead and get into the CMC injury fallout. And Bogard, we'll let you go first.
Yeah, man, it's really unfortunate. I'm not sure how to feel that that we're going to have to wait till Tuesday to know more, because I know maybe even Wednesday, because that's when they're mandated to tell us the full injury. Right now they say it's a few weeks. They didn't put him on the IR. Like I said, we might need to wait till like Tuesday or Wednesday to find out. And if they put him on the short-term IR, at least we'll know for 3 weeks we have Chuba Hubbard. And for people that don't have CMC and have Chuba Hubbard, I might be trying to flip him right now, to be honest. Yeah,
Yeah, because I don't think Chuba Hubbard's going to be Mike Davis of last year. They're going to get Royce to 5'9" Freeman in there, and it's going to be more of a split load. It's definitely not going to be Mike Davis of last year. What do you think?
Okay.
I just recently, because I'm a Christian McCaffrey owner or rosterer myself, and I immediately got offered Darren Waller for Gronk and Chuba, whatever we want to call this guy. And these Chuba owners are going to feel a little frisky because of what we saw from Mike Davis. But I ain't trading for Chuba. I'll be honest with you. Like, he ain't worth me trading any kind of assets for. I do think that he will have the job for a short period of time. And if I'm able to get him off the waiver wire with the waiver, I'm doing that. But I'm not actively going to trade for this guy.
I'm trading him away, is what I'm saying. In
places
I don't have CMC.
You're right.
Yeah,
absolutely. I agree with you, because there's going to be someone that sees Mike Davis from last year, and like Hustler is saying, they're not anticipating the Freeman work, and they're not anticipating how much better Darnold is in that system with what they're running than what Teddy was last year.
Yeah, or even the random tight end carry from like Tommy Tremble, and he rumbles into the end zone. You know what I mean?
Hey, TD, so what do you think? Let's say you are the Christian McCaffrey manager, and let's say Christian McCaffrey is the only good running back that you have on your squad. Okay, let's say you went CMC, and then you pushed off everybody else. How are you feeling today? Are you going to be making a move for Chuba? And if you're on the other side of things, are you going to take advantage of those CMC managers who might be really hurting?
So, if I got Chuba, I'm just going to play it. It's the first week. You got to at least see the game script from 1 week without CMC. So, I would say hold off on Chuba. And I'm willing to take the risk if he don't play good and I get caught with the bag. Because this offense runs so smoothly with Matt Rule, I actually think Chuba can have a floor of 12 to 15 points in PPR. So I think he can be okay, but don't expect him to be, like you said, Mike Davis or CMC.
Chuba dropped a touchdown pass too.
He dropped multiple passes yesterday, so he is not going to be. When you go back to look at him in college, he didn't even play in 2020, but he was the guy who cracked 2 thou wow, in 2019, but he wasn't really known as like a pass catching back. So I don't think we can expect him to get. Mike Davis was flirting with 10 receptions, a lot of times last season when they had nowhere to go. I don't think that's anywhere close for Chuba.
I'll be honest, man. This thing makes me really bullish on like a DJ Moore. Like, if I was able to somehow try to finagle a deal and actually get DJ Moore on my team, I think that's a great play, because if you saw the way that Darnold didn't play last night, they have good rapport, and with the fact that you don't have CMC, those plays closer to the line of scrimmage are going to probably end up going towards DJ Moore.
Now, hold on real quick before you get in there. Do you think that DJ Moore, tried to have sex with, Teddy Bridgewater's wife or, something like that? How did it go from, DJ Moore getting no love last year? Well, a little bit, but, Robbie was like that dude. And now you see Sam Darnold is just peppering him. He looks like who we thought he was last year.
You got to remember, the Panthers last year had 3 wide receivers in the top 25. So even though Teddy Roosevelt, as Bogart likes to name him, was passing the ball over like, Steve Nash, Sam Darnold is more like, oh, nah, bro, you my guy. So I'm going to lob it up like Shaq and Kobe versus Steve Nash just hitting the open man.
Well, because DJ Moore, and we'll let you get in on this after Bogard, because DJ Moore last year, I mean, in dynasty leagues, I mean, I saw him going top 3. In redraft leagues, he was going like top 5, like everywhere. So even though he did finish as a top 24, I don't think he returned the value on where he was actually drafted.
I agree with that.
Go ahead, Bogey.
I was just going to say, like, it is funny when you watch Sam Darnold, he will just outright not see the open guy. And
Robbie Anderson was wide open, and they showed him how wide open he was.
Yeah. Like, he will just outright not see him. You know what I mean?
And what's funny is that
and he favors over the middle of the field, too, so.
And everyone thought that Robbie Anderson was going to be that guy. Like, coming in, everyone said that Robbie Anderson and Sam Darnold had this chemistry. He's going to be hyper-targeted on Robbie. And it actually went the other way around, where he's almost forgotten that Robbie's there. It's so much focused on DJ Moore.
I don't even think Robbie is startable right now.
No, he's not. He's getting close to droppable. And, well, we got to see what he does this next week. But, TD, do you think that – I mean, I haven't been watching, like, every single route, but I think Robbie is just getting back to running those 9s. Do you think that has a lot to do with his lack of usage? He's not using as many routes in the route tree as he was last year.
Say that question again. I'm sorry. You was in the matrix a little bit.
Do you think because Robbie Anderson has really only been running the 9 route, do you think that's one thing that's screwing over his production? He's not running as many different routes as he was last season. TD might be in the matrix now.
We are all in the matrix.
Yeah, we are.
Gabby Neal.
It's all good. Well, what do you think about that, Bogart? What do you think about that? You think that Robbie running 9s mostly and not, expanding the route tree like he did last year? I think that's hurting.
I mean, when you add little nuances like Terrence Marshall and even Tommy Tremble, like now you have other players involved, and you know what I mean. So it kind of relegates them to the outside. You know what I mean?
And then I think the other thing that we have to remember is that in PPR, those little cheapy catches make a big difference. Just a couple of those add up each game. And they didn't have CMC last year. So with no CMC now, we actually might be able to start to see some more Robbie Anderson. Although in that game, we didn't see it.
That's what I hope. I'm hoping that we start seeing some more Robbie. Now with CMC out for a couple weeks, they're gonna have to change their game plan.
Or as they call him in the Matrix, Mr. Anderson.
Surper.
But they're 3-0. Do they really have to make too many changes yet? No, they gotta get punched in the mouth first.
Yep. All right, next piece of news.
Robbie's a standard play.
Yeah. At
TV
best.
Dependent.
He's the big play guy right now.
Didn't see this. So clock management throwing us some news in here. John Jones arrested in Vegas for DV. Damn.
Man. Listen, man. Don't ever fuck with that guy. Like, who is trying to, like, women, men, doesn't matter. Don't fuck with John Bones Jones. And if he's in Vegas, he's on coke. You know what I mean? Don't fuck with him. These things right here these are registered weapons.
He was just talking about how he was gonna come back in 2022 second quarter. He was talking about how he's in this great shape. I really hope that didn't happen.
Well, I mean, it's on there. I mean, it's all over I looked it up on Google right now, and the first thing is TMZ, then MMA fighting. Yeah, there's a whole bunch. ESPN MMA reported it. Like, yeah, it's out there. It just happened too. So shout out to Clock for being over it. Like everything just posted like within the last 30 minutes or so.
This is the one day I wish I had
trust Clock. Clock is a very reliable source.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't bullshit. And there we go. I like the reference. Mr. Anderson needs to take the red pill and escape the Matrix.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. How about someone else that, at least members of the 420 crew, we love Josh Gordon, and he's officially out of the Matrix. He's been reinstated. They said he can play as early as week 4. So if you're looking on Sleeper and everything, you had the suspended, mark. That's already been changed. Can't keep him in your IR anymore. Bogey, what do you think about Josh Gordon? Is he going to be anything? People in redraft leagues, should they go grab him?
It's still for the Seahawks, right?
At least as of right now, yeah.
I think it's a deeper league play. Also, I do want to add Josh Gordon, right? Playing in Seattle, it's probably not good for him. You know what I mean? Recreational marijuana usage in that state. You know what I mean? Just too much temptation.
You don't get in trouble like you do before. Like, I mean, it's not like, any kind of weed smoking gets in trouble.
But he was also the guy they used as the example. So it's like, there's a lot on him to just be clean. You know what I mean? I do love it though, because this comes in time where someone like DK is just getting blanketed as fuck every game. I would love to have another guy on the opposite of him, and that'll not only perhaps open it up for DK, but also relegating Tyler Lockett to the slot where I want him to be, man.
Wait, Freddie Swain, he's not a dope option to have on the other side of DK?
Okay, but tell me that wasn't David Moore.
Yep.
And now it's going to be.
They have the same kind of guy in that spot.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Josh Gordon is better.
Off.
He's better than those guys. Yeah.
Like maybe 7 years ago. Like Josh Gordon 7 years ago, I would be picking up on my team. Josh Gordon.
7 years ago, he was on drugs. And he was the best when he was on drugs. Yeah.
That's like this dude would play through anything. He'd be a monster. Now at this point in time, I don't even know if you can say he's a has-been. He almost was like a never was, because this kid had the potential to be an all-pro. He had potential to be one of those top wide receivers that we perennially talk about, like Hopkins and these other guys. But it just went south for him. And honestly, unless I'm in like a 16-team league where this shit is super deep and there's virtually nobody on the waiver wire, I'm probably going to avoid him because, one, he doesn't even have a landing spot yet. Two, how much is he going to play? Three, how much does he have left in the tank? So, honestly, this is more of a news for fans of the game than us fantasy footballers.
ED, what do you think about the Josh Gordon news?
I don't want to be disingenuous to him, but who wants Josh Gordon now? Like he said, that's 7-8 years ago. I just don't. I mean, if you got decimated by with your receiver core or somebody caught COVID, I get it. But what is Josh Gordon gonna do? Take the top off the defense for somebody?
Yeah, and he's not. I don't think he's on Seattle anymore either. I think during all that stuff, I'm pretty sure he's released because everything that I see right now is should the Seahawks take another chance on Josh Gordon. So I don't even think he's officially on a squad as of right now. In a couple dynasty leagues, I got him tucked at the end of my bench, had him in the IR spot and stuff. Those are the ones that we have 50 guys on the roster, type thing. So yeah, redraft leagues, not messing with it.
Oh, I added guys like N'Keal Harry or even Evans to my IR, and just I may not put them on my roster, but at least there's a possibility. Like Gordon, if he's in your IR, just cut him, just straight cut him, or try to hold that and not make a move until you find out where he lands.
Yeah, and I mean he can't even play until week 4. Who knows if any? I mean it's Friday. Mm-hmm. Who knows if we hear any kind of news about this before Monday or Tuesday when the teams are already regrouping for the next week.
Yep.
Next piece of news: Dalvin Cook not practicing again because of that ankle injury. So 3rd straight day of practice that he missed. He's a game time decision. I've already been very vocal about it. If Dalvin Cook doesn't play, I'm not picking up Alexander Mattison to play him. I'll let someone else do that. TD, what are your thoughts on Dalvin Cook?
I know y'all don't like when I say this. 0 RB.
I went with you, bro.
I hate to say it, hustler, but I got to, and I wanted to say it earlier, but I was in the matrix. About CMC. 0 RB. Listen, that's not saying these guys are. So listen, I drafted CMC. If I hit the first pick, I'm drafting him. But listen, I was expecting him to get hurt. That's what 0 RB means. Set up your team where if your running back goes down, you can put somebody else in that slot. So you kind of draft at the end of your draft for guys that you can fill in. That's what it means. Because I would hate to have, say I got Dalvin Cook and I got CMC as my 2 running backs, and both of these guys go down. If I didn't go 0 RB, I'm done. So, yes, Dalvin, I don't know if he's going to play, but I think he's going to go through this all year. I got an injury. Okay, I'm okay. Oh, I got an injury. Okay, I'm okay. So, I don't want no parts of that. So I was in a medicine. I'm not touching him. I got him last year one time, and he had a dud. I'm like, I'm not touching that. So, hopefully Dalvin Cook is ready to play. If you're a Dalvin Cook owner, then play him.
I shouted you out on the live stream yesterday, TD. I was like, man, see McCaffrey going down. This is where the zero RB truthers, like, they're going to come out because this is the exact reason behind the whole strategy of zero RB, just knowing that a lot of running backs get hurt, and it really, really sucks when they get hurt. And I know everybody has the same chance of getting hurt. I know it. Like, literally non-contact injuries can happen. But who takes the most hits out of everybody in the game? It's going to be the running backs. Who's going to get the ball and has to make more cuts and, just make more decisions. And, yeah, it sucks. But, yeah.
Nobody takes more hits. Nobody takes more hits than Davis Mills.
But I tell you this, though. The running back position, like TD said, is the most volatile position there is. So, like, even in situations where you get that number one pick, like I was saying to my co-manager earlier when I had him, I was like, maybe we should think about shopping CMC now because, one, his workload is not the same that it used to be. The thing that made CMC so elite was he had an insane workload. It's like he never got off the field. He did everything. That year that he had was super special and unreplicable. He will never have a year like that again. Yeah,
everybody. A few people on the live stream yesterday who watched the Wednesday What If, they said that I cursed him by saying, is he going to get 500 touches? And then next game, he ends up getting hurt, but he was on pace for it, but yeah, the zero RB, I think the reason why most people hate on that is because if you look at it as a whole, if you look at like just fantasy football in general, maybe only 5 or 6 out of the top 12 go down. So everyone's like, oh, well, if you just wouldn't have drafted, those 6,
that's 50%. That's you talking about one out of every 2, and let's not factor in the fact that we have guys like Zeke and Kamara who are greatly under performing their value. So when you look at it, and even Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill are balling out. Maybe Kelsey is the only first rounder that you're looking at, and Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry's first week was weird because he didn't do that great, but week 2 he fucking blew the fuck up. So, can we even say any of these first-round guys right now are super stable?
Well, this is
other than Kelsey.
And I agree with you, Taco. But this is where I think it's going. Why not take Kyler Murray with your first pick, even in a one-quarterback league? He's scoring 36, 37 points. Everybody, the next quarterback is scoring 28. That's a value difference right there.
Because of the depth in that position, I feel like because look at it last year when Josh Allen. Because remember the last 2-3 years we had Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and we had even Patrick Mahomes, who were all at the bottom, of the quarterback who ended up that year coming up being the number 1. And then look at Aaron Rodgers last year. Aaron Rodgers last year.
Hell yeah!
They all had a decent.
He don't even run the ball.
No one that had a killer one year never came back that second year and did the same exact thing.
Except for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers had 2 bad years before that. So
I know. I'm just saying, in history, Aaron Rodgers is a type who would repeat.
Brady this year is going to make a lot of people regret hating on him.
Yeah, because last year, everybody, including me, was super hyped up. I was actually drafting Brady over Josh Allen last year just because of the excitement about everything. And yeah, brand new system, brand new pieces and everything. It took him a quarter of the season, maybe close to 6 games before he really, really got clicking. And this year, boom, all cylinders.
It was the game against the Chargers when he threw for 5 tugs. He really, that was like, well, okay, he's arrived with the Buccaneers. You know what I mean?
I think that was week 4.
Super Bowl.
Week 4.
Super Bowl. You keep all your pieces. So Brady got to spend a whole year with these pieces, getting developed with them, winning a title, and now you come back and you put that on him, where he's thinking like, if I not only have one of my best seasons but win another title, I don't only go down as a GOAT. I can go down as the best player in sports history.
And since we're on the Bucs, why don't we talk about Antonio Brown, because he missed practice. Now, because he has the vaccination, if he had 2 negative COVID tests within a 24-hour span or something of the game, he could play. But the thing is, the team is getting ready to travel. I mean, these billionaires, they got money. They can get him on a private plane. But as of now, I think the expectation is for him to miss. Bogart, what do you think? If he misses the game, which it looks like it's going to happen, how's that affect the Bucs?
You know, more Gronk. You know, more Gronk. Like we haven't already seen enough Gronk, right? I mean, maybe more. Actually, we haven't really seen enough. It's only 13 targets. You know, he goes 4 touchdowns out of those 13 targets. You know what I mean? Is it the targets or receptions on the year? 13. I know he hasn't really been heavily targeted though, so I do expect to see that.
Robbie G. Red zone Robbie G.
Red zone Robbie G, bruh. And I think, you know, we just should fully expect the passing game and everything short to be what it do, because, you know, Darius Williams and my man Jalen Ramsey on the outsides, bruh. You know what I mean? That's dangerous. So now maybe Scotty Tuhati or even an OJ Howard, if not a Gronk, like these guys that are just, he's gonna find whoever's open.
Don't put Scotty Tuhati on the radar. We don't want people picking him up and playing him thinking that
he's already being picked up. He was trending the other day. You know what I mean?
What about
this is not my
Giovanni?
doing.
This could be a Giovanni Bernard game, and this actually could be a big Godwin game.
Yeah,
Who do you think it? TD, who do you think Ramsey is gonna cover for a majority of the game?
I hope Evans.
It depends on who line up on his side. I don't think he's gonna target one guy, because Tom Brady goes to different guys. So I think he's gonna choose the left side or the right side, and whoever comes to that side is who he's gonna guard. But Tom Brady, listen, they okay with Antonio Brown missing this. They actually get the patty cake Mike Evans, because that's the problem with this team. Winning games is not the problem. It's making sure that Godwin and Evans stays happy. So this is the game where you can pacify these guys. And Antonio Brown's going to be okay, because we all know when they come to a tough game, Antonio Brown is the matchup weapon that they use to win those games. Just like last year in the Super Bowl.
Antonio Brown has been playing with house money ever since he got hooked up with Brady, last year. But yeah, you got to keep Evans happy. You got to keep Godwin happy. And we know Godwin, playing on that franchise tag, he wants to get those stats up. He's trying to get that big time paper. What do you think? Bogey? Who do you think Ramsey's going to be covering?
I think, man, we're far from the days of Wade Phillips being the D coordinator, where they would keep him to the left side. You know what I mean? And then, even last year, he would just shadow their number one guy. Who do they choose to be the number one? I don't know. I think Brady just goes to whoever is not on him, to be honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't even think that Brady's going to think like that. Brady's going to think, where's my best option on this particular play? And if it's a situation where the guy gets a move on Ramsey, he's going to throw it there. I don't think Brady's afraid of anybody at this point in his career, especially of the weapons that he has. I think the question is, can these guys get open versus Ramsey, or is Ramsey going to come to play and just shut it down? Because there are games where you cannot make a move on Ramsey, and there's other games where we say Devontae Adams just go out there and
but that was a rub. That was a rub play. They had to get somebody in his way to spring Adams open, and he was pissed. Remember? Yeah, that's what they had to do to him. They had to go and get some help.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yep. But you know what? I expect to see a lot of that. They're gonna be doing things to keep Ramsey off his game.
You can see, I can see OJ Howard or Gronk just go ahead and just blasting the hell out of Ramsey and springing open a Godwin or
Hustler hates Scotty Tuhati, but let's be real, Brady likes this dude. He gets him the ball whenever.
Let's be clear.
They would have someone out, he would get the
ball.
Hold
on. Let me say something. You can remove the name. He's white, so he's going to find him. You know what I mean?
Wes Welker, Julian Edelman. There's a long line of guys like Scotty Tuhati.
Chris Hogan.
Chris Hogan was that man that 1 week.
Yeah. He's going to find the white guy.
They actually, I think they use a lot of the screen game. So I like Leonard Fournette. And the reason why is Aaron Donald. What do? What did the Patriots do against great pass rushers? They
get it out quick.
That's why I think Gio might have a chance this week.
That's true, but Leonard hasn't played bad, Taco. So the only reason why
he
hasn't.
His games is still sus.
Yeah,
the run game. They only have 35 rush totals on the year, I think.
Bro,
you know what I mean? They're picking up.
Yeah. Rojo,
why
God.
Would you?
Rojo
why would you care about the run?
Usable, but bro, last year they ran a lot. Rojo and Lenny both had.
No, they didn't. They were 27 They were 27 in rush attempts in the league last year. That's at the bottom of the league.
Like
they had hold on. Didn't he break off like two just
80
two of his
yards?
rushes?
He had a couple big,
yeah, 80 yarders. That's one rush for a whole lot of yards.
Yep.
Rhodes is right now.
And one was like one of those tap passes. So it counted for Brady and shit.
Nice. All right. Another piece of news here. And I was going to put this up, but Scotty Too Hottie in the chat. We'll throw it up here. So we talked about this yesterday. Josh Jacobs is extremely doubtful. We're not even going to get into this too much. We talked about it on yesterday's show. But just a reminder, Josh Jacobs pretty much ain't playing this week. So make plans as of now.
All right, can I just say something? Fuck you, Gruden, with this fucking whatever Peyton Barber shit. That's just absolutely fucking ridiculous when you consider how much Drake was running at the goal line before. So I'll be like, oh yeah, Drake, you can't run in short yardage. Let me only put in this guy to fucking run short. I don't like some of the shit that Gruden does is just like, what the fuck, guy?
Does anybody know Drake's stat line, like his carries and stuff? Because I do know Peyton Barber had 13 carries. He had 13 carries, so that but he played a significant less amount of the snaps. So
yeah. I think I saw like 6 carries for 7 yards or some pathetic line like that for Drake. It was
well, you know what? Drake revenge game.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was the pass game that kind of kept his floor safe-ish. It definitely wasn't.
I think all season that pass game is going to keep him as he's not going to be spectacular, but he's a low-end flex, low-end RB3, maybe an RB2 in a given week if he can get the red zone or if he can get a couple rushes in. But I'm really like, when you look at the way he rushed last year and the way he's rushing this year, man, this dude, I don't know what happened to him because he used to look like a dynamic rusher and the ability to make these plays. But so far this season, his run game is not there. And last season too.
Yep, and then who are they going up against? They're going up against the Dolphins, who are going to be really pissed. This
revenge
week.
Game, like Bogey said. I mean, that's where he first cut his teeth.
All right, so next piece of news here, Bogey will let you start it off because it's your man DeAndre Nuke Hopkins.
Yeah,
game time decision. Game time decision. What do you think? Should we be nervous? Anytime I see the game time decision, I'm nervous.
I mean, it's a 1 o'clock game or at 10 in the morning.
Let me
for West Coast
time. I was like, wait, 10 in the morning? That's not Saturday morning cartoon.
It is. It's the early one. It's the 10 o'clock game for you West Coasters like us.
So we're gonna be fine with decision making. We're gonna know an hour before kickoff, right?
Hour and a half.
And I will say, he's a veteran, and he's their best player. They're fine. He doesn't need to practice. He dealt with ankle injuries pretty much all of last year and the year prior, and he would be questionable.
I think he was dealing with it last week. I mean, you could tell he wasn't looking like a normal self. What if, because there is a world that we play in that he just goes out there to be more of a decoy and has 4 or 5 targets, a couple catches, and no touchdowns.
Well, it's unfortunate that we're as disciplined as we would want to be, we're still going to throw him in the lineup if they say he's a go. You know what I mean? So that's just the risk we have to take. At least it's the early game, so you could have some type of contingency plan in order.
Unless, though, you have some killer wide receiver options on your team and you just don't want to worry about that, then maybe you make the flip. But otherwise, you got to play Hopkins.
I'm the guy with injured Nuke in my lineup with a donut versus injured Nuke who I ended up making a decision to sit, and he's blown up on my bench.
You know what this reminds me so much of? Julio Jones. You had these debates.
No, don't do that to Nuke. Don't you do that to Nuke.
Here's another. Here's another scenario. Let me give it to you, TD, on this one. What if the Cardinals go up real quick by 14 or 21 in the first half?
Oh, that's very possible.
They're playing the Jaguars. I think they're going to beat the holy shit out of the Jaguars. They're probably going to go for 50. I think they're going to go close to 50, whether Hopkins is in the whole game or not.
So, this D-Hop is a gamer. He's a Hall of Famer, guys. He's going to play. D-Hop, that's what makes him great. That makes him probably what some people could say he's better than Devontae, because he gonna play through injuries and he can play with bad quarterbacks. So I wouldn't worry about it. And if he does sit out, I mean, I wouldn't worry about it. I trust D-Hop, so I wouldn't worry about that. But if they do get up, he's coming out the first half. So if you have Rondale Moore, this is a game for him because it's an easy matchup. So
AJ Green
too. To
I don't
pacify
know.
him.
Christian Kirk.
Kirk or AJ Green? Who do you got as number 2?
AJ Green's played more snaps.
But hasn't Kirk got more passes?
I'm saying,
I think
I would go with the guy on the field more.
I think we're really just getting hyped up over those 2 Christian Kirk like touchdowns, and we got to remember
3.
Well, you know what I mean. Those first 2 in the first game where he had like 5 receptions, 2 of them were touchdowns. I think a lot of people are chasing those points right now, is what it is.
Well,
and he's got to be wide open to get that shit.
And
what's Green's stat line so far?
I think with like 1 or like 2 for 2 receptions and one for a touchdown, something like that, bro.
It definitely hasn't been good. But
that's a 50% touchdown ratio.
So he's the only one who's had the exact same amount of targets from week 1 to week 2. He had 6 in both of them. Rondale Moore took an uptick from 5 to 8. Christian Kirk took a downtick from 5 to 4. And even DeAndre Hopkins went 8 to 4 last week.
Yeah, so the guy leading that team in targets is Rondale Moore by one target. But let's live in this world where you said if they get up 14-0 or even 21-0, man, it's gonna be Skywalker scoring them TDs, bro. You know what I'm
Wait, hold on.
Let me live in that
Chase Edmonds looking like? Because this might be a Chase Edmonds game, like especially versus the Jaguars,
or a James Conner game if they're beating ass so bad.
Don't tell me James Conner, because
if they're whooping ass so bad. If they're
in your theory, like trash.
In your theory, if they're whooping ass so bad,
True.
and they're just letting all their guys rest in the second half, I'm going to be chunky James Conner.
Short passes to Chase Edmonds, get up early using Chase, and just ride him out to the end.
And I just hope that like they do like the 2019 Baltimore Ravens, and if they are whooping ass, just sit Kyler Murray too. I hate to say it, having Kyler Murray everywhere. I'm just saying this because we don't want it to be a Derek Carr against the Colts in 2016 situation where they're beating up the Colts so bad and they still have him out there deep into the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? And then he breaks his leg. We don't want it like that.
I bet he could play 3 quarters and still be a top 3 QB on the week, if not the top.
Yeah. Just like Lamar Jackson in 2019.
Yep.
What sucks is that I have the Cardinals defense in my other league, and I have Kyler Murray in my other league. So I'm sitting there like, shit, do I want it to be a potential shootout where they're going back and forth and Lawrence has his first good game and Kyler blows
You know that's
up?
not going to happen.
I could pray. Trevor got to show me something, man. Trevor got to show me something.
He's about to show you 2 to 3 interceptions by the Cardinals this week. That's what he's going to show you.
Chandler Jones is married to the game, bro, and he's about to have domestic violence on Trevor Lawrence, bro.
Oh my god. Oh my god. He's going to be
Jones' brother, man.
All right, let's switch it up to another topic here. TD, we'll let you get in on this first. So the Ravens, they've had one player test positive for COVID. They haven't said who. That wasn't released. But now we got to come to who is in contact with this person. We saw like crazy stuff with Denver last year. One QB tested positive. The whole QB room had to sit out for the game. So I don't know what.
But they also were seen on camera all together, no masks. Remember that?
Yeah, and so that's where it gets a little tricky. How are they going to play this out? But we're getting close here. TD, what do you think about this, just in general?
I'm not worried about it. Most of the guys are vaccinated, so they're not on the same protocol, so they can actually play if they've been in contact with somebody, as long as they don't have it. So I'm okay about it, man. Even if it's Lamar, which I pray that it's not Lamar third time, right?
Lamar was in practice today. Lamar missed practice yesterday. Yeah. He was in practice today, so it's not him.
So it's not him. So it's okay. So that's the only guy that I feel like it really matters. Only time I would worry about anything COVID is when we get in the fantasy playoffs. That's the only time that I'm going to really worry about it.
So here's the rule with like when you're vaccinated. So because Antonio Brown is dealing with this right now too, because he's vaccinated. You have to have 2 negative tests, I believe they said, within a 24-hour period before the game happens. here's the thing. The Ravens are on the road. So they're going to be traveling. It's either like tonight or tomorrow that they're going to be going over there. So that kind of affects things also. Haven't heard any other news, but I got Twitter open just in case. So if we hear more news about it, or if anyone hears more news about it, make sure you shout it out because we don't know too much as of right this second.
Thanks.
So let's rapid fire a lot of these other ones here. So Taco, we'll let you start with Crowder, who's a full game time decision, didn't even play last week. What do you think about the Jets this week going up against the Broncos?
Man, honestly, in Survivor football, I switched from taking the Panthers to taking the Broncos because they're about to get their ass whipped. I heard that Wilson was having some hamstring issues. Wilson got beat up last week. I think Wilson will play better this week, but I don't think they're going to be great. I think that Crowder offers, good possibilities, but he wasn't even active last week, and it seemed like he was healthy. Keelan Cole was healthy but didn't play, so it's clear that Elijah Moore is on a higher level of the depth chart than him. Elijah Moore is now a lot safer than people give him credit for, and if he's been dropped in some leagues, I would say Elijah Moore is a perfect guy to put to the end of your bench because eventually the Jets are going to get something right, and they're going to be able to figure out how to use him. And I think he's not good now, but give him 5 more weeks, he's eventually going to be something that we're going to use him in fantasy football.
He's the next Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Bench all your Jets.
Yeah.
Oh,
Chris Harris Jr., bro, is going to be on Crowder if he plays. And if not, Elijah Moore is going to draw Chris Harris Jr., and I'm not fooling with none of that. But
so who's the number one over there?
Corey Davis. Come on.
Who's the number one cornerback in the Broncos?
Oh, it's the rookie, man. They're putting him right into the mix. Yeah.
He's been destroying everybody.
Yeah.
Speaking of rookies, J.C. Horn also broke his foot last night. Out 1 to 2 months, they're saying, from a cornerback from the Panthers.
It's 2 to 3 months if he doesn't get a surgery. So he's gonna miss the season pretty much. But I don't worry about them. The Panthers are built from the front to the back. They play like a 3-5-5. I mean a 3-3-5 scheme. And like their pass rush is so ridiculous that they just need their cornerbacks to not blow assignments, and they're going to get a bunch of disruptive passes thrown their way. I think they'll be okay. It's a devastating blow because they also lost their secondary safety option. I think he's not going to miss a significant amount of time, but yeah, I'm not really worried about it. It is sad though because he was out there balling too, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he was looking good. Another non-contact injury, so that's what makes it even worse.
But it was all broken bones in his foot, which is amazing. That's how hard he was going at. A non-contact was able to break bones in his foot. And he was able to take his shoe off. Did y'all see that? He took his own shoe off. Like that's a savage motherfucker, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for real. Just like his daddy.
Bogey, let's let you get in here on your Niners. Elijah Mitchell, very questionable for Sunday. They made sure to put "very" in quotes. What's your thoughts about the backfield in general right now that's in shambles?
Just pay attention to who they have activated this week, and more importantly, give me some Trey Sermon status, man. Has he cleared the limited all week? Okay, but that means he hasn't been cleared yet by the league. Because if he's limited, that means the team neurologist cleared him. Because that's step one. So he's getting the limited today. His report was limited again. Yeah, was that the report today? So tomorrow, and they're playing a Sunday night game, so this is annoying, right? So it's going to be hard to have a contingency plan here for young Sermon. You know what I mean? But we should find out by tomorrow or Sunday morning whether he clears the concussion protocol or not. And the fact that he's got a limited all week, that means he is going to be part of the game plan. If so, if not, I don't know who's going to be in that backfield. Like, who did they activate? Did they activate Kerryon Johnson?
They picked up someone from, I believe, the Bengals practice squad. I can't think of his name right now, but
the undrafted free agent type guy. I think he was in the XFL. You're talking about Evans or something like that.
I'm gonna check right now.
Yeah, because
Jaquez Patrick.
Oh, that's
Jocks Patrick or Jaquez Patrick, one of the two.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Not looking good.
Man, that shit is scaring me because I have him in the league, it feels like he's not going to play. It feels like
he's not.
Get
he's not going to play, and he plays on Sunday night. So unless you got an option on Sunday Night Football that you can replace him with, I mean, maybe throw him in your flex. So maybe you have a wide receiver option, But yeah, you got to have someone in the Sunday night game or the Monday night game.
All right, so then I got a question for you guys. Let's just say you're an Elijah Mitchell owner and you also have Trey Sermon. Would you give up one roster spot, like your last flex spot, for one of those guys, saying that one will play, or would you go with something earlier that you think might be better?
One is going to get ruled out, so you'll be out, and then hopefully your league is like how leagues should be, where you could pick, your players don't lock up till their specific game starts.
Right.
You'll be able to put one or even two of them if they get ruled out into your IR and pick up a Marquez Valdez-Scantling or someone like that, because he was getting 5 targets a game so far, and that's someone I would because that's how you attack the Niners right now. You attack their secondary. I can see them double covering a Devontae Adams. That's a nice pivot for me personally.
Yes,
as I would go to MVS. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. Because honestly, I think if Sermon is playing, more than likely you're going to want to
start him.
He should have a value.
You start him.
Value. Yeah. And then if not, he's going to go into IR like Bogey said. You just flip him for somebody else that's on your wire. Worst case scenario, if you're in a league that makes you make the decisions early, I think you kind of got to go with your best option at that point and not risk it.
Maybe start scouring the waiver right now even.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. I think they play the guy who gets the most practice in. Whoever goes to get some, at least if it's just one practice, that's who they're gonna play. Because Kyle Shanahan is big on practice. He benched Brandon Ayuk because he was injured and he felt like he was trying to ride the pond of like, oh, I'm injured, I can't practice. He showed him, okay, you ain't gonna play either. You're not gonna start. So whatever running back comes in practice is a guy I would trust to start, and that was the guy that I will hold off to on Sunday night to try to play.
And that's been out too.
Hasty's already ruled out. Yeah, he has a high ankle sprain, so yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be out for a minute.
Yeah, and I like clock management coming in here. Not going to church Sunday night, so no sermon.
Yeah, I like it. Amen. Well, but with that said, we're gonna go ahead and pass around this collection plate.
Give us money. Throw it in as a super chat. That line from Clock was worth it all, right there,
dude. So how about this? I would say also, right now, go look if Jeff Wilson Jr. is available in your leagues. Pick him up, throw him in the IR. They're gonna need him in about 5, maybe 6 weeks.
He said November. November is his expected return. They didn't say when.
I already added him in a few.
Throw him in your IR. He'll be snug. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you a question real quick, Bogard.
What's up?
What's up? I'm in an ESPN league, and I see Jeff Wilson out there. I go pick him up. They talking about drop somebody. So I got to drop somebody.
Do you have a kicker? Do you have yeah, you have to. It's not like Sleeper where you can make decisions actually, Sleeper still has. Okay,
no, you would have to drop. I mean,
Sleeper too,
you have to drop someone to pick him up, but then you throw him in the IR, and then you re-pick someone up after that.
Do you have a kicker?
Drop somebody hustling, and somebody steal one of my players that I want.
Well, do you have?
That's the risk we take.
Do you have kickers in this league? Do you have kickers?
No, we don't do no kickers or defense. We do IDP.
Okay.
2 IDP.
Okay, well then I would take one of my IDPs because there's so many, and I would do that. You know what I mean?
So drop Jeremy Chin.
I mean, but he already played though.
Damn.
He already played, didn't he?
Chin is nasty too.
But,
so you can't drop him.
I can make this move next week, though. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was gonna say too, man. I don't think if he's already out there available in your league right now, there's only a few people that might be thinking this, and that would be like the Elijah Mitchell guys or the Trey Sermon guys, or maybe even just if you have a Niner fan. No one's thinking that way, so you're probably good till the next waiver cycle.
Yep.
It does depend on how savvy your league mates are, because I mean, especially like guys who play with me. Damn, who was it? It might have been. It might have been Steven. We'll talk about a different league. Just to do it, just because he had an extra spot. He picked up Chuba before the game yesterday, just because you never know what the hell's going to happen.
Yeah, that was in the Degeneration X, man.
Yeah, there you go.
And he beat me to it.
Oh, no.
He beat me to it.
He was on the – I'm so desperate.
Oh, no, never mind. He did Chuba. He does not the one with Chuba. Never mind. It's Wink and Willie has Chuba, I think.
Yeah, no, I think it was a different league, but We play with savvy people now. You know, we know about these moves.
Check it. When the draft ended, what I immediately do, I see how many IR spots I have, and I just picked up 3 IR guys. I have the backup running back for the Titans just because he's on IR. I'm like, well, if Henry goes down, guess what? This guy's going to take over.
I don't know. I'm not buying into the Evans, the Darrington Evans thing. I like even last year as a rookie, it was Jeremy McNichols. Yeah,
it's an IR spot.
Even Deontay Foreman. Yeah, but then that's another thing too, man. Like it's just because we've seen it already with Jeff Wilson. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with
We've already seen it with Jeff Wilson. So
let's rapid fire a couple. Let's rapid fire a couple more of these. All right, so TD. We got some QB news. So Carson Wentz, he practiced, but they still said he's a true game time decision. They won't name the starter. Brett Hundley is the one who's been taking the starter reps when Carson Wentz wasn't out there. If Carson Wentz doesn't play, even if Carson Wentz does play, you messing with any of these Colts QBs this week?
So if you got a guy you need so I need a super flex guy. So I had to get desperate because I want a quarterback in my super flex. So if you need that, yes. So I would do it. I'd rather go with a Jacob Eason or even a Brett Hundley than to go with a player that I don't feel like is going to score as high as a quarterback. So I'm putting it into a desperate situation. Other than that, hell no, I'm not touching none of these quarterbacks. But if you want a super flex quarterback guy, that's the only guy out there that you can pull on your team, then I would do it. But I think Carson Wentz, and I think practicing is big. He was at practice. He's at least going to go out there on the field and see how he feels.
Yep. And Taco, so, I mean, obviously we're playing Taylor in this game, but you messing with anybody else on the Colts offense?
I mean, I think that Pittman still has value just because of the mere fact that he's going to get volume. And at the end of the day, volume is king in fantasy. So, maybe you go with him, but I think more than likely if you're drafting Pittman, he's towards the end of your draft, and you probably have a couple of other guys you have around him that you might feel a little more safe. I want to see who's actually starting, if it's going to be Hundley or if it's going to be Eason, because it does seem like it's going to be Hundley or Wentz. In a Wentz situation, I think that Pittman's going to be fine. In an Eason situation, from what we saw in camp, he looked like he could be interesting, but I don't know how much I trust Hundley.
Yeah, I picked him up in the leagues where we have where we start 3 QBs. So, the guy who has the QBs, they make the rules in those leagues. So I'm picking him up just in case, and I'm hoping I can trade him off, if someone needs him, especially the Wentz manager or whatever. All right, right back to you, Taco. T Higgins suited up for practice, but the coach also called him doubtful. Now going into this game, going up against the Steelers. Now, in my ranks, even before all this stuff happened, I had Boyd as number 1, Chase as number 2, and then Higgins as number 3. How do you think we rank Boyd and Chase in this game? And how do you think Higgins? He's doubtful. If they call you doubtful on Friday, you're not playing.
Higgins
with him missing, what do you think?
I think so far Higgins has been the best one of the 3 Bengals receivers, if I'm correct. He's been the most consistent. It seems like he's the number 1 favorite target of Burrow.
Consistent, real quick. So in week 1, it was Chase. Chase was that dude with more volume. And then it was Higgins, and then it was Boyd. And then it completely flipped around in week 2. It was Boyd number 1, Higgins number 2, and then Chase number 3, just for some context.
Right. So I think it shows that Burrow is going to play the matchup versus the player. And while he likes Higgins feels like it's probably a safety blanket and is Mr. Consistent. Those 2 guys between, Boyd and Waddle or Chase is really going to depend on who gets the opportunity. So I think it's really going to depend on how they match out the quarterbacks, what it's looking like when they're running plays. And it's really going to be game flow dependent. I really couldn't pick either one of those guys. If Higgins is out, they definitely get elevated, both of them, in my eyes. I think either one of those guys can finish as a wide receiver 1 this week. But I think that, you're probably going to want to play. Me personally, I probably would play Boyd over Chase just because I know they have a little bit more chemistry in the professional level. Chase, he looked good week 1, but week 2 he had that regression that we all thought about.
I think Boyd's going to be the dude who I'd be starting of the 2 just because the Steelers and their pass rush, they're not going to have a lot of time. Boyd's is a nice safety blanket. TD, So we got Will Fuller back at practice, expected to play, and the coach did say that he's mixing him into the game plan. Would you even take a shot on Will Fuller or really any of these Dolphins players with Jacoby Brissett, at the helm?
Yes, I would. And it just depends from team to team. On some teams, Waddle and Fuller are guys they can't break the lineup. But on some teams, they still is a good play because you don't have a guy that's a good flex. Maybe you have Elijah Mitchell and he's going to be out. And you don't have anybody else. Jacoby Brissett, I'm okay with taking a deep shot because they manufacture targets for Waddle. I feel good about that. Will Fuller scares me. That scares me a lot. So I might not play Will Fuller, but I think I'm going to still play Waddle because he's going to have manufactured targets and it's going to be easy for Jacoby to find them.
All right, switching it up. For the Falcons, Bogey, we'll toss this one to you. Russell Gage is out. Their top corner, A.J. Terrell, is out. Frank Darby is out. We already thought that the Falcons were going to get smacked around, but now with their number 2 wide receiver, their number 1 cornerback, predictions for the game.
Who are they playing?
They're playing the Giants.
Playing the Giants. Your Giants, Taco.
Yeah. Listen, I just want to repeat, as the consistent person that I am, no one should ever have Russell Gage. Don't even put him in your IR. Just cut him. Right? and yes, I think this game is going to be a fun game, though, for fantasy purposes. It's two defenses that have a lot of glaring holes. You know what I mean? Yeah, give me the Giants in this game, though.
Hey, where are the glaring holes in my Giant defense?
Smack Taco around there.
Okay, listen. Cordero Patterson and Mike Davis might have a field day on y'all. Y'all give up booty to the pass-catching running backs. You just saw it with J.D. McKissick. This goes all the way back to last season. You know what I mean? You do have one side of your secondary that gets shut down with James Bradbury. The other side, not so much. You know what I mean? I'm saying it's glaring holes.
And Facebook user, we can't see your name on there, but it said, did we talk about Cook? Yes, we did. Cook, he's missed practice all week. He's a game-time decision. A lot of us are of the consensus, even if Alexander Mattison is going to be the guy, don't play him. That's the consensus of the panel.
They're playing the Seahawks. I would play him.
I would play him, but I wouldn't put a lot of fab money on him. I wouldn't waste a waiver on him. Like, if you have him on your team, yeah, I would play him, but I wouldn't go out of my way to get him.
If I have Cook, I'm playing Madison.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm Elijah Mitchell, I'm playing Madison.
I have. So let me just. I mean, we have a big dynamic shift on here because I have Cook in a couple leagues. I didn't even want Alexander Mattison in the draft. After the draft, I still don't want him today. It doesn't matter. Like I'd rather have a guy like James White, out there than Alexander Mattison.
Right, James White is also getting drafted before him as well because he has more of a safer floor.
No, not even, man. People were taking Madison like psychopaths in the 10th round, 11th round.
I don't get that. Like,
he was going. It was like AJ Dillon, Tony Pollard, Latavius Murray, and then
that
Alexander
Tony
Madison.
Pollard pick is paying off though because Zeke is trash.
If you actually played him
like a true Giants fan,
you would have had to actually play Tony Pollard. Like, that's what we got to remember. Like, I mean, a lot of people, especially people watching the show, playing shallow leagues. Yeah, but you still got to have worse options than him to play him.
Yeah. I mean, you can say that until you see the point.
Facebook user, why don't you play him? So at least for me, every time I've seen Madison have to be the guy, he's always sucked. When he comes in to give Dalvin Cook a little breather, he does good because the defense, it's usually at the end of the game, randomly, sparingly, and they don't think he's going to get the ball. So
how about this? Somebody go look up the last time he started. Last year, the one game Dalvin Cook missed, or the first game he missed.
I can tell you did trash.
They played Atlanta, but they played Atlanta of all teams, and everyone eats up Atlanta on the ground. And the pass catching running back eats on Atlanta. He didn't do nothing. And he got stuffed at the goal line a couple times. And then I think it was actually even Boone who ended up punching it in. But there is no Alex Boone there now, who is actually just a fullback. But
I got 2 points on that.
Okay,
like Bogey said, versus Atlanta, you want to start your running back, so make sure you have Saquon Barkley in your lineup this week. This is the
Come on,
Saquon week. If Saquon's gonna do anything this year, this is the week it starts.
You know, everyone.
If you have
Saquon, you're starting him.
Well, I mean, last week we saw what happened. A lot of people are getting nervous now. And number two, man, he wasn't hurt during that game that he was taking over versus Atlanta last year, because I think he came back later on. He had some good plays. And he looked good at the end of the season, but I'm not sure that.
Now, here's what happened. I got the stats up. Here's exactly what happened. Okay, so he balled out versus Seattle. So maybe this might be the outlier, but he was not the starter. He was not the starter that game
where he came in.
Yeah, so nobody played him. Nobody game planned for him at all.
Right.
Not one Alexander Madison manager played him.
That was a Sunday nighter. And Dalvin Cook left that game twice, and in the second time he never came back.
Then the next week, after that, the week that he was the starter, the week that everybody put all their chips in on Alexander Madison.
He was the DFS chalk play that week.
26
he was hurt that week.
That doesn't matter.
He was hurt.
He was not hurt.
He was not hurt.
He was not hurt.
I didn't dive into that. I just looked into the stats because that's all we care about.
I remember I had him. It was either a hamstring or something. He was not full strength. That's why I say you gotta be careful with this hamstring, because he does have skills. He's not that bad. He's not
He's not that good though either.
Let's not talk about this game then. When did you ever see him do anything good except for like maybe come in week one as a rookie against I forget who they played week one.
When did we ever see Tony Ballard do something good?
How about this? Week 1, 2019, they played the Falcons. He took a screen to the house, and everyone thought he was the GOAT. That was it, literally. And he did it right against Atlanta in 2019. Last year they play Atlanta again. He gets to start. Nothing. 26 yards.
Yeah.
All right. Real quick news. So we got two last pieces here. We're not even going to comment on this, but for the Bucks, Jason Pierre-Paul is not going to play. He's ruled out for the game. They got enough there to where who knows if that's even going to make a difference for them. Shaq Barrett's still going to eat either way. And then we're just going to go around robin on this last one, and just yes or no. Odell Beckham is not listed on the injury report. Would you play him? It's just a yes or a no. That's it. For me, it's a no.
Yes.
Yes.
Reluctantly.
I'm just not. He's the only guy out there. I believe it was week 3 last year when he actually balled out. But I'm not saying I got to be desperate to get him in there. But if I only have to play 2 wide receivers in a league and potentially 3, I hope that I have 3 good enough to where I could just keep him on the bench and not mess with it.
Oh no, baby, he gonna ball out.
All right, guys, we are out of here. Why don't we round robin it? TD, why don't you tell everybody who's watching on Facebook right now where to find you?
Yeah, guys, go to YouTube, Instagram, OnlyFans, and also Facebook too, guys, where you can find me at Fantasy Good Sports, and I provide cutting-edge content. Make sure you subscribe to my OnlyFans where I give you consultations, and I know you need help with your lineups, starts, and sits, whatever fantasy problems you got, guys. I can help you on my OnlyFans. It's just Fantasy Good Sports. So yeah, that's it, guys. Just make sure you follow, subscribe to all make sure you subscribe to all our channels, and that's it, guys.
Yeah.
Taco.
But everybody, y'all know you can catch me in the Facebook group. Last week I was answering some questions. I'm gonna try to do something like that again this week as well. I got fantasy basketball content coming up as we have the fantasy basketball season coming. So make sure you check us out on YouTube at the Daily Sporting, because that's the stuff that I'm really working on right now. Because with these boys, I'm covering a lot of football for you guys. But I know there's a lot of people that play 2 sports out here. You know what I mean? Football, basketball is life. It's life. So that's where you can find me.
We know you New Yorkers love your basketball. We know that for sure.
I mean, the Knicks suck, but we love ball, man. We rocker out here.
Yeah.
Bogey, shout it out.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You could follow me at the GMM Network, and you can subscribe to the GMM Network on YouTube. And unfortunately, I won't be able to be here daily, all guaranteed, but I am here on this show every single Friday for sure moving forward. And you can catch us every Wednesday for the Real Fantasy Playmakers What If series. And what if Zero RB is the way to go.
And what if Henry's the next CMC? That's what I'm saying, baby.
That's definitely going to be one of the topics this Wednesday is what if zero RB is really the way of the future and has always been. And you guys already know, Fantasy Football Hustler. You can find me everywhere. It's either at FF Hustler or on Twitter, TikTok, at FF Hustler 420. Go get signed up on Patreon. It's patreon.com/FF Hustler 420. It's all about the one-on-one advice, but we got a really dope group. I mean, we got a huge group on Facebook. We just crossed 56,000 members. That's the Fantasy Football Advice Group for experts, gurus, and beginners. But the Hustler Discord chat, I mean, we got like 150, 160 in there. You're going to get a lot more answers from me in there for sure. And we got a lot of other experts in there who are just giving advice. And it's all about the one-on-one advice. So get into the superstar tier or higher. You're going to get DM access. Dopest thing too, anybody on Patreon, you get priority questions on every one of my start and sit live streams. First 15, 20 minutes are always dedicated to answering Patreon members' questions. So if you need another excuse to get on it, there's your reason. Get on it. Patreon.com/FF Hustler 420. And just go to fantasyfootballhustler.com. You can link up everywhere, all my social medias. Follow me on every podcast out there. Great week. Great week of shows, guys.
Great week.
I already know.
Hustler and me both have TikTok. So go follow us on TikTok too, guys.
Yeah. Check us out everywhere. All right, guys. We'll see you next week on Monday. Don't forget, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. We're bringing you all the updated news. And then I got my Start and Sit live stream coming tomorrow. It's going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. See you guys there.
Hey, good luck, everybody. Go get these
Word.
dubs.
Yeah.